The tragedy of Hallownest. To the casual observer, Hallownest is simply a ruin, a sprawling, subterranean graveyard filled with mindless bugs and forgotten gods. But if you look closer, past the infection and the decay, you realize that Hallownest isn't just a dungeon to be conquered. It is a crime scene. Every statue, every stag station, and every corpse tells a specific part of a chronological story. It is a story not of war, but of psychology. It is the story of a pale king who tried to replace instinct with intellect, and a forgotten moth goddess who refused to fade into memory. Today on Lore Logic, we are reconstructing the complete timeline of Hallownest. We will trace the history from the chaotic age of ancients to the arrival of the worm, and finally, to the single tragic mistake that doomed them all. Before there were stags, before there were cities, and before the Pale King ever arrived, the world was ruled by light. But not the light of civilization, it was the light of nature. This was the age of ancients. In this era, the bugs of Hallownest did not have individual minds as we understand them. They were united under a single hive mind consciousness, controlled by a higher being, the Radiance. The Radiance was a moth-like deity, a being of essence and light that existed in the dream realm. Under her influence, there was no pain and no separation, but there was also no self. The bugs were essentially sleepwalking, driven purely by instinct. They were united, but they were stagnant. However, the Radiance wasn't the only power. Deep beneath the crust of the world lay the abyss, a place of pure void. We know that an ancient civilization existed down there, worshipping the void before disappearing entirely. This sets the stage for the primary conflict, the burning light of the sky versus the consuming empty of the dark. For eons, the Radiance ruled unchallenged. She was the sun in their minds, until a new worm burrowed its way into the cliffs and brought with him a dangerous gift, thought. The status quo of the Radiance was shattered by the arrival of a worm. In the world of Hollow Knight, worms are ancient, godlike beings who typically die and leave behind massive corpses. But this specific worm did something different. It traveled to the edge of the world, what we now call Kingdom's Edge, and performed a metamorphosis. It shed its colossal outer shell and was reborn in a smaller form, the Pale King. The Pale King offered the bugs of Hallownest a transaction. In exchange for their worship, he would grant them a mind. He expanded their consciousness, allowing them to build tools, write language, and create a society. Bugs flocked to him. They built the City of Tears, the Stagways, and the White Palace. They became individuals, but in doing so, they committed the ultimate sin against their former god. They forgot her. The Radiance was not destroyed. She was simply starved of attention. As the Pale King's light shone brighter, the Radiance faded into memory, until she began to claw her way back through the only door left open, their dreams. The Radiance began to return, appearing in the dreams of bugs as a burning light. The infection began to spread, driving citizens mad and bloating their bodies with orange cysts. The Pale King realized his great society was crumbling. He needed a way to lock the Radiance away forever. His solution was grim. He determined that the Radiance existed in the mind. Therefore, a being with no mind could contain her, a perfect, empty vessel. He and the White Lady birthed thousands of children and threw them into the abyss, letting the void hollow them out. He was looking for one specific survivor who fit the criteria. No mind to think, no will to break. no voice to cry suffering. He found one. The chosen vessel, the Hollow Knight. The plan was simple. Seal the Radiance inside the Hollow Knight's empty shell, and seal the Knight inside the Black Egg Temple. But the plan had a fatal flaw. The Pale King, despite his cold logic, was still a father. He raised the Hollow Knight. He spent time with it. In doing so, he committed a catastrophic error. He showed it affection. This created a bond. It gave the Knight a reason to want to make its father proud. It gave the Knight a mind. Because the vessel was not truly pure, the Radiance was able to find a foothold inside that tiny spark of emotion. The seal failed. The infection exploded outwards, destroying the kingdom and leaving the Hollow Knight screaming in silence for eternity. The nuance of this relationship, the king's silent regret, is hinted at throughout the game. But seeing the illustrations of the young knight in the Wanderer's Journal really drives home how small and helpless this savior actually was. And so, Hallownest fell. The king vanished. The queen bound herself in her gardens, and the Hollow Knight remained locked in the Black Egg, struggling to contain a god that was already leaking out. The kingdom entered a state of stasis. It became a graveyard waiting for a gravekeeper. That is where you come in. You play as another vessel, a sibling of the Hollow Knight who escaped the abyss, wandered the wastelands and lost its memory. You are the ghost of Hallownest. You are the true, pure vessel, returning to finish what your father started, to kill the dreamer, break the seal, and end the nightmare once and for all. Hallownest is a tragedy, yes, but it is also a story about cleaning up the mistakes of the past. If this timeline helped clarify the story for you, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow. I have left a link to the Wanderer's Journal in the description if you want to see the official art of the Pale King yourself. Subscribe for more lore logic. Next week, we enter the nightmare.